Okay, so we are going to talk about the Brrrr method. So what does Brrrr stand for? Anyone know? What's B?
Buy.
And R?
Refurbish.
Yeah, rehab, repair. We call it rehab. Could be repair, reno. Okay, what's the next R?
Refinance.
Not yet. Yeah. None?
What is stand for the money order?
Now what?
Say it again too.
Refinance.
Yes, we're at refinance. And what's the last one?
Repeat.
Repeat. Yeah. Okay, so first we're going to talk about buy. Okay, what are we buying?
A rundown property. Most of it.
Under market value, right? It could be run down, but it needs to be under market value. So run down is, yeah. So we're buying an under market value property that we can rehab to bring up to market value. That is the key, okay? So under market value so that we can rehab it. Does anyone know how to determine how much money can you put into it? I buy it, it's run down, it's a shithole, I'm gonna make it glorious. How much money can I spend? Is there a rule of thumb? How do I know what I'm doing? Anyone have any thoughts? Has anyone heard of ARV?
Oh, yes.
After repair value. Okay, so this is gonna be key for here. ARV 75% max, okay? Right, you got a realtor, you guys started digging, they found you a fantastic property, okay? It's run down, it has tenants in it, they haven't been taking good care of it. The community overall is averaging worth of $400,000 when it's in good shape, right? And this property is listed at $300,000, okay? So I'm gonna write down the numbers, it's easier to visualize. So it can be worth $400,000, okay? It's listed at $300,000, okay? You understand that it can be worth that, but you need to spend the money. You bring in your contractor says, if I put 50K into this max, I can bring this up. Like absolutely 100%, we'll clean it, we'll do some work, okay? But I need 50K. Okay, so what can you buy this property for? Because you know it can only be 75% of ARV. So what's 75% of 400,000? 300,000. Okay, so all in, you can only spend 300K, right? Place is listed at 300K and you gotta put in $50,000. If you were gonna buy it for 300,000, it's not gonna work, okay? But you know, the seller, they're motivated, the realtor, right? And you end up buying it. It's listed at 300,000. You buy it for 250, okay? So you're at 300,000, okay? You've spent $300,000 into this property, okay? You rent it, fantastic. You're probably getting more for it than it was getting before, right? As the community, because you've developed it up. You're gonna have to understand your numbers. You're gonna have to find the right property in the right community and buy it for the right price and spend the right number, right? Okay, so then we rent it. So now what are we gonna do? Even before we refinance, does anyone have any thoughts? We bought it for $250,000, we put 50K into it, now we're renting it. Before we even refinance, what should we do? Any thoughts? We should get it appraised, right? So we get it appraised. Woohoo, they say it's worth 400,000, right? We put in the money, we got the renter, it's worth 400,000. We're only in this property for 300,000.
Basically like pulling your equity out of the house with like a bank loan. So like the bank will give you like 70% of your property's worth, basically.
Okay, yeah,
It's like
so close.
getting a new mortgage.
Yes, so refinancing is you're getting a new mortgage for a new term with a new interest rate, okay? So does anyone know how much maximum the banks will give you for that? What is it, 85%?
80.
80%, okay. So the bank's gonna give you a max of 80%, okay? So what is 80% of 400,000? 320? 320? 320, right? So the bank's gonna give you 320K And I do want to say, okay, there's only two ways that we can bring up the valuation of a property, okay? If we keep it simple, okay? So that we can refinance. We've already talked about one of the ways, right? It's rehabbing. We rehabbed the property, it was under market value, and now we can refinance. Does anyone know why else we might be able to refinance? I buy a property here, 5 years passes, I'm here, can I maybe refinance? My property's worth more, right? Depends on where we are, right? Where's the market? And this is what I was talking about. We're going to come back to how we can use the market and why we should follow the market. So one way we can refinance is if we rehab and we bring up the property's valuation. Another way we can refinance is if the property is worth more because of the market, right? If you don't use it, you lose it. You have equity in your house, in your rental property, okay?
Yeah, we call equity, it's like monopoly money.
Yeah.
It's not really there, it's not really real unless you actually use it. So, yeah, unless you actually take it out, it becomes real money.
But let me just say, don't go refinancing your primary residence, okay? This is strictly for investments, okay? So you have an investment problem. If you don't cash out the equity, what might happen? We'll be gone, right? And it's not like it's a game, like you don't want to play it like the stock, oh, now we're here today, oh, and where are we gonna go? Like it's like, this is where we are today, how much is my property worth? I either take out the equity now, or I potentially don't ever take it out and it's gone because it's monopoly money. Okay, so in this case, we have $120,000. Where do you guys want me to put you on the graph? Let's just say, so you bought your first investment property, what, here? Here you are. That's just when it was. This is what happened, okay? Now you have $120,000. We're on and up in the market, okay? What are you gonna do with that money?
You use it to buy money.
You got it. You're gonna buy more properties. We actually like to call them doors. You're gonna buy more doors. The more doors you buy, the better off you're gonna be. Okay, right? The market's going down. Should we be like, oh, what were we doing? We gotta sell them all and like go move away. Is that what we're gonna do? So what are we gonna do? It's going down. I can't refinance any properties, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties.
Just chill.
So we might not be panicking, but maybe what are other people doing? Selling, maybe they can't afford anymore because the interest rates went up, maybe now they're renting, right? Maybe they lost their job because of the economy or whatever, right? Now all these people are looking to rent, right? Or they're panicking.
On those down slopes as well, if you are looking to expand your portfolio, buying more properties, would it be worthwhile to invest in your properties, do upgrades that need to be done, the new roof needs to be done?
Listen, if you have cash and there is things that need to be done, then yeah, you're gonna have to do it, right? And you have the cash. Typically when we're on a down and we're just chilling, right? But not everybody else is chilling and not everybody else has how many properties? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're gonna rent those. And we're just gonna collect the cash. We're just gonna collect the cash. What's happening? The cash, market's going up. And you got this property right here at the bottom. Now we're here, what are you gonna do? You're gonna refinance it. You didn't even have to rehab it. You're gonna buy more properties, right? Now the market's going down, oh shit, maybe now I should sell them all. No, because look how many you have now. Now you're gonna rent them, you're just gonna hang out, you're gonna save that money, right? And you're gonna keep going. So if you follow a strategy like this, where do you think you could be in 30 years, right? If you start with your first, let's call it house hacking, just for argument's sake today. You're not really using your own money. You found a way to get the cash to buy the properties because you understand what you're doing and you've teamed yourself up with the right people. You still have other properties that you haven't refinanced. If you're not saving enough cash during those downturns, then you just chill, you wait. You wait until you have the opportunity to refinance another one or buy another one.
I'm gonna know better theoretically the time and space.
Yeah, and honestly, like it's still, like we said at the beginning, it's still gonna depend on your long-term goals, right? Like you're typically not even gonna do the Brrrr method unless you want financial freedom, long-term wealth, and all of that jazz, right? Yeah.
Do, like, this up and down curve, is it also reflective or correlated to like the up and downs of rent on a daily basis, or does rent increase the same? Because that might squeeze an investor if they have to hold while it's going up for a long enough time too.
I mean, let's just talk about now, like where we are right now, right? Like Dan said, rent is up 30% right now, comparatively year over year, 25 to 30%. Like it's crazy. And like, where is the market now? Does anyone have an idea? Or where are we trending? Does anyone know? Yeah, ish. Like we're stabilizing out and we're not going up at this point, right? Like we were just super high up, right? So, and where's rent? Exactly. So yeah, I mean, they do correlate, like typically, yeah, when everyone's pinched and then everyone has to rent and the demand goes up, then the price is gonna go up, right?
Yeah.
That's what's happening. People panic, people lose their jobs, people sell their houses, whatever.